Good evening, Bethnal Green. My name is Robert Ulf, U-L-P-H. I always spell my surname, otherwise people think it's just an exhalation. And I don't know what it is, but people react sometimes like deers in a headlight when I give them my name. They're just looking blindly. Sorry, can you spell that, please? Okay, I just did. U-L-P-H. And still sometimes it's sort of deers in a headlight. And I don't know, his name is just so short that they can't quite get it. And then they go, you remember at school when they were so keen to teach you about U-shaped valleys in geography? Well, that's the one, the U, and then finally we get that to the end of the name. So I'm a very keen traveller, and as you can imagine, for the last couple of years that's been a bit curtailed, really. But I've grown a bit used to it. I suppose I got accustomed to it. But the one place I did go to during the last 2 years was Sweden. I was tempted to go there because, as you probably all know, they had quite a lockdown light there, and I reckon that I'd be able to get out about a bit and have a bit more freedom. Do we have anybody from Sweden here tonight, by any chance? Do we? Somebody's quite emotional about it. But I think that's a no. Anybody been to Sweden? Yes. Where did you go in Sweden, madam? Stockholm. Did you?
Quite a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Stockholm.
What do you like about it?
I like the fact that it's lots of islands, and you're never far from water.
Absolutely. I think that's a really nice thing about the place. But what I like about it? Do you know what I like about it? They completely get my surname. My name is Robert Ulf. Oh yes, welcome to Sweden, Mr. Ulf. So anyway, I was quite keen to go to Sweden, as I said, and I asked around to see if any friends would join me there. And unfortunately not. Nobody wanted to come with me to Sweden in the lockdown. I think with what they'd heard about Sweden left them thinking that they'd be sort of wafting their way through clouds of coronavirus in the street everywhere they went, or something like that. So I set off and I went right up to the far north, because I had been to Stockholm before then. It was very nice, but I needed to go somewhere else. So I went up to the mountains on the border of Norway in the Sarek National Park. And as I say, that's sort of something I like to do, to go hiking and to go traveling. And I always like to get myself a souvenir when I go away to these places. And as my mother says, Robert, the more you put into life, the more you get out of it. So I don't like to come home with a I love Lapland tea towel or novelty reindeer poo-shaped chocolates. What I do when I go into the mountains is I do some sketching. I take with me my sketching pad and my pastels squeezed in between my freeze-dried food and my tent, and off I go. So I went off hiking into the mountains, set off by myself. It was a little bit unnerving, but it was kind of fulfilling, and it's absolutely beautiful there. I have to tell you, I do think if ever you go to Sweden, it's well worth taking a trip. It's got all those features that you learned about at schools, the U-shaped valleys. I don't know why they're getting so much mention, but we're back to them again. And the braided rivers and the terminal moraines. I just enjoyed that so much at school. They say that the combination of all that is what's known to a geography teacher as an emissio nocturnalis. I think you might need to Google that one, but it's. So I got in. I got. Sorry, sir. Oh no. Oh, okay. So I got into the mountains, and after about 3 days of walking in, I got to my spot, and I thought, right, this is where I'll sit down and do my sketch. And it was a pretty strange day, really, just sitting down there by myself, sketching all day long in the sleet and the rain. And it, of course, didn't escape me the irony of the fact that in trying to flee social isolation in England, I'd actually made myself the most socially isolated person in the whole of Europe. So I settled down in my tent for the night by myself. Again, it was a bit scary. Every little noise that you hear outside makes you think and wonder what is outside. And I started having a few sort of imaginations as I dropped off to sleep. And I started thinking, maybe this would be quite an interesting idea for a novel, perhaps. And I got home, and the phone rang. Mother! It was my mother. Robert, she said, I've just had this wonderful idea. What it is that you, with all your travels, should write a book. Lots of people would buy it, and I think you'd make lots of money. It'd be really good. Now, my normal advice to anybody who has a creative idea and wants to pursue it is that the thing to do is very simple. It's just to go into a darkened room, lie down until the feeling's completely gone away. But I unfortunately did have this idea, and so did my mother, and it was lockdown, which meant I didn't actually have that many thoughts in my head anyway. If I did go and lie down in the darkened room, I might have been there quite a long time. So in the end, I wrote the book. I sat down and I scribbled it. And it's about a fellow called Noel who goes hiking in these very same mountains. And he has a terrible time. I won't tell you any more because if you want to know any more, you can bloody well buy it. But here it is. I brought it along. You can see my sketch. You can see my sketch on the front, and it's called Criminal Conduct. And now that you know how to spell my surname, all you have to do is go on Amazon and find it. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.